Hot weather for this one,
You don't
too.
like an average of 95? Well, finally, something Craig doesn't like. It's hard to find that. We've narrowed in on it. Good to know. I'm going to pitch that Pioneer Day in the winter.
In October.
Or the fall.
There you go.
Let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl. Hey, we had a few storms out there, and that includes tonight. Great shot coming out of Draper. We've had a few rainbows because this was high-based convection. So high-based thunderstorms, meaning at the surface, we were dry, but we were getting some very, very strong winds associated with those. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing your weather photo. Weather at abc4.com. The Myers family, thank you, Pat, shared these from Payson as some of that lingering moisture, especially paired with the heat of the day, bubbled up a few pop-ups out there. As we look at the satellite radar, you see the last few hours with that southwesterly flow, which you knew was there. You could feel it with the wind, and we had some storms in south central Utah and then right off the lake, one rolling off of the lake into Ogden, and it's still impacting portions of northern Utah tonight, and that's up near Cache Valley as well as Bear Lake, where you're probably getting some decent wind. Just south of Price, a storm could be moving through, but we've got some activity near Park Valley. That's going to track towards the state line, and then Cache Valley over to the Lake Town area. We get a little closer, a little bit of lightning embedded in that through Logan Canyon over Highway 89, and of course into southern Idaho. Precipitation, well, it was lacking with these storms. Even though there was lingering moisture, we only picked up close to 2/10 in Manaway, but the Wasatch back towards Tooele County, Fillmore and Kanab just barely getting over a trace there with 500ths. Hey, that's a few drops, and that's what we saw. We also saw that in Ivins. Time-lapse video coming from our Black Desert Sky Cam showing the clearing conditions as we made it into the afternoon, which opened the door for those temperatures to hit 97 in Ivins. This was the setup today, our high, a little further away with the core of that monsoon moisture to the east of us in Colorado, but some of that holding on. We're a bit unsettled with that trough through the Pacific Northwest. That's why our winds were amped up today, was because of that low. It really tightened the gradient. Isolated storms will start to quiet. Great shot from South Jordan. Thanks, Chris. That's a pretty one. Noticeable with the cloud cover. It was great hues. Okay, I want to talk about low temperatures quickly because we were so mild. The winds started overnight last night, and they kept temperatures at 80 degrees. If this number holds until midnight, that will be a new record. The old record's 79, so we're going to watch what happens there. But you could see incredibly mild in Salt Lake because at Salt Lake International, those winds, they were whipping. 93 in Salt Lake, made it to 100 in Wendover, 94 in St. George. Wendover, the only triple digit there. Of course, southwesterly winds aiding in that temperature because the warmth was out there and the winds just really were cranking on the western side of the state. As we close out the news, mostly clear skies. We'll see temperatures along the Wasatch Front bottoming in the low to mid 70s. We're off to the races tomorrow. Mostly clear. We'll see sunshine, could see partly cloudy skies and fairly seasonal temperatures. The winds that we saw today, well, they're going to ease a little bit into our Tuesday. Still breezy, still elevated, but the moisture is going to start to go away. Yeah, we get a drying trend through the midweek here. It's a gradual drying trend, though, so we'll hold on to a little cloud cover. But it looks a little sleepy on the futurecast as we trek towards our Pioneer Day holiday. As we look at the upper level, it kind of shows why. So we know that system moving through the Pacific Northwest impacted us today. It's going to dig, and as it does, we're going to watch what happens. We're going to quiet for our Tuesday, Wednesday. Cooler conditions, close to average, but then as we head into Pioneer Day, there's a slight chance that we will get enough moisture with our southwesterly flow picking up that we could see a storm. So you're going to want to stay weather aware there. Then we really start to dry out with stronger winds as we head into the holiday weekend, which means fire concerns will return. We could see red flag warnings for the holiday weekend, and that high pressure will allow for a warming trend. Are you making your plans? Forewarning you now what it's going to look like throughout the state. Temperatures running just a few degrees below average for Thursday, Pioneer Day, 90s, 80s. What are you looking for? We have that. We're even going to stay away from the triple digits in St. George for the holiday. Looking at the regional forecast, 80s and 90s for tomorrow, very close to average. 95 is our average. 96 in St. George. We're just a degree or two behind them. 90s on the eastern side of the state. Here's a look at the next 7 in Washington County. We're going to see those high 90s, 98 on Pioneer Day in the south. The winds really picking up Friday and Saturday. Again, forewarning you, we could see fire concerns. So if you're going out camping, you're going to be out and about, do your part. Make sure we can stay safe. Those 90s ahead of us, close to average, watching the winds, a slight chance on your Pioneer Day, and we'll be right back with sports.